Good morning, friends. This is Grace here. Happy Monday. It's time for some altered book fun. I'm going to work on a project today that will go in my next live sale. So welcome, welcome. When you come on, please say hello. I'm going to grab the feed on my iPad. Make sure that this is coming through loud and clear for everybody to hang out with us this morning. I do have a cup of coffee here, which I'm thrilled about because it's Monday morning after all. Let me know where you're coming in from when you come on and say hello. I did send a little text message out to my text BFFs who are in the Eastern and Central time zones. I left the others alone because it is still rather early and I didn't want to wake anybody up, right? I didn't want to wake anybody up. So if you're here as a text BFF, give me a shout out so I know that you're here. And if you're here from Craft Around the Clock group, let me know. I am coming to you live as a hostess in the Craft Around the Clock group this morning. The Craft Around the Clock group link is in the description of this video. It's a free group, and every 45 minutes there's a new creative person going live, giving you some inspiration, showing you some new techniques, some new products. So it is really fun to be part of that group, and it's getting bigger all the time, which is incredibly fun. So go ahead and join the group when we're done, so that you can hang out with everybody there and get to be inspired by all the fun projects that you'll see. We have been doing some theme weeks, which is really fun. Last week was Down on the Farm in that group. This week is not a theme week, it's just general crafting, but watch the schedule in the group for what the themes might be. Good morning, Brenda, I see you. Okay, I think I found the feed. Look at 48 of you early birds are here already. Good morning, crafty chicks. So I have to admit, oh, hey, Carmen, I see you now. So I grab my iPad here so that, because then I can see the comments. I'm going to put this camera that I'm broadcasting from down on the table so you guys can see what I'm doing. Hey, Tita, good morning. And there's Tammy and Jennifer. Everybody's hopping on. Hello, Darla, Tamara, and Charlene. Welcome. Okay, let me get you down on my table so you can see what we're working on today. We got a Danielle Steele book. I love to alter books. I love to create altered books that can be used. They can be used two different ways, you guys. I'm going to grab my Reader's Digest book just to show you, just for those who may not have seen it yet. Just give me a second. I'm going to dig it out of my cupboard here. Oh, you might hear a crash, boom, bang, but I'm going to grab it. These altered books can be home decor. You know, you can just leave them on like a coffee table, or this one is the cover of my art journal. It was a Reader's Digest book, is a Reader's Digest book. I think I left one page. No, I didn't. I just finally did that last page. But you can see the book pages underneath sometimes my creations. So I love to use them as art journals. As you can see, I create in the pages just whatever my heart is speaking that morning or that day. I just love to create in my pages. But they can also just be something that you put on your table as something pretty. It doesn't have to become an art journal. I would love to know in the comments, if you art journal, do you use altered books as journals? This is a Danielle Steele book that I got at our local library, had a sale. They do it a couple of times a year with books that are donated. It's for a local nonprofit. Hello, Janine. Good morning. So this is one of the books I grabbed there, and I already started painting because it had a black cover. I take the cover off. That can go in the garbage. And I already painted. It has a black cover, as you can see, around the edges. But I wanted it to be brighter because I'm going to use some decoupage papers on here. So I laid that, I laid the top cover, the paper one, on top of this before it was dry. So that got a little bit mucked up, but that's okay. You can see that my coverage isn't perfect, right? And that's okay because this is all going to get covered with lots of pretties. So we're totally fine with it being like that. Hello, Darla. Good morning, Marsha. Jennifer says, I have a couple of books that I have altered, but I haven't done much in them yet. Yes, Pat, I can see you. She says, can you see me? Hey, Text BFF, we can see you. I'm going to turn this light on. I think it makes it easier for you guys to see. So let's do that. Let me know if you art journal, if you create altered books. I would love to know. I painted the cover of this Danielle Steele book with just some acrylic paint by Folk Art. It's just, it's called Linen. So it's just a soft color. I have grabbed a few papers here. This is These are decoupage papers. These top three are decoupage papers that I carry in my shop, the Comfy Nest with Grace.com. If you shop with me regularly, my shop has been really busy, which I'm just thrilled about. So thank you for shopping with me. I really do appreciate it. I try to get your order out within 24 hours when you place an order. I try to be really quick about that. It's just me here. So most of the time I'm able to get those orders out within 24 hours, but I can't guarantee that. I love to get your items into your hands as soon as possible so you can keep creating. These are 3 papers that you can find in my shop. This one may be sold out actually, but I have several Harlequin design papers. These 2 are still available. Lace, this one's called Vintage Lace, and this one is Sweet and Sassy Rose Portraits, and there are 2 of them. I've already used the other half of it, so I thought she would be beautiful on this cover. And what I would like to do, I don't know why this occurred to me, but I would like to float this Harlequin behind her face. I don't know why, but I think that would be kind of cool to see some of the Harlequin going down her face. Just bear with me. It's an idea I have. I don't know if it's going to pan out well or not. We're going to discover together. I'm going to first get this paper prepped for the cover of the book, and I'm going to just take off the edges that I don't want. So I just put some water on this, and I'm just going to wet the edges. I mean, that's all this is water on a paintbrush. There's a cut line here that I don't want. I have a little stain of, like, it looks like some paint that I got on the top there. Don't want that. And then on the edges is the Decoupage Queen information for the paper, and I don't want that. So we're going to get all of that off so we can prep this paper to get ready to create with. So good morning to everybody. Happy Monday. Thanks for joining me for some crafty goodness this morning. Now, I sometimes use a rubber eraser or a silicone tool, or you can just rip with your fingers, whichever one is easier. I just like to show you your options. When you're working with napkins or rice papers, some decoupage papers, it depends on the paper itself and how it's made. But sometimes you can easily tear these when you wet the edges. It just absorbs the water and it makes the paper weaker, to be honest with you. It makes it just weaker so that you can easily tear it. Now, I don't really need to tear the bottom of this, except for the fact that if all of the other edges are going to have that really beautiful torn look, then I don't want this straight edge. I want it to be torn. I want them all to match so that the design is matching, right? So I'm going to tear that off. And then let's get rid of this straight edge that has all of the information for the paper, like the name of the paper, the fact that it's a Decoupage Queen paper, which I am a retailer for Decoupage Queen. You guys, the foils came in this morning. So you can see I've got some foils here. I'm thinking if we have time, I'm going to use those today, show you how to use those ones. I used the flakes last week on a project, and you guys wondered about how, some people were asking, well, how do you use the sheets? You showed us how to use the flakes, how to use the sheets. So maybe we'll do that today. We'll see how far we get in this. Let's just, there's my paper all prepped and ready to go. Let's just see size-wise on our book cover. This is dry by now, so I think I can do this. On our book cover, it's still a little bit big. I want it just slightly smaller. So I'm going to come around while the paper's still wet, and I'm going to tear off a little bit more. I just want it slightly smaller than the book cover. So we're just going to wet a little bit more of this and take off some more of it. It doesn't have to be. The fact that the background is completely white means it'll meld or just kind of match in with what's behind it, which is this creamy colored book. But I would like to do some of the foiling around the edges. I thought that would be really cool. So we're going to try to eliminate some of this excess paper. Just not needed. There we go. All right. And it's okay that if it's not like a perfectly square shape, it's okay. You'll see it's just going to blend in really nicely there. Okay, so we'll see how far we get. Charlene says I did one page in my book, but I didn't do the cover yet. Charlene, honestly, to be totally truthful with you, for me personally, I like to do the cover last. because you're going to be opening your book a lot to work on the pages on the inside. And I don't want the cover to get mucked up, right? So I like to do the cover absolutely last, Charlene. So I think you're in good shape. Just save the cover for your last thing. The other thing is, depending on what you put on the inside of your pages, if you use it as an art journal, it may determine what you want the cover to look like, right? But I'm going to be selling this book in my live sale, so I like to get it decorative so that it can either be used as home decor, as a journal, whichever one. Thanks for fluffing the nest, Marilyn. Thank you for doing that. So I like to have it prepped for the live sale. Dana says, I want to learn how to use the foils. Yay! Well, you're in the right place. Hey, good morning, Jimmy Lou from the Messy Craft Corner. Welcome, welcome. Text BFF. Hello. In Ohio. Hey, Tamara. She's saying good morning to Jimmy Lou. Hi, Nancy. I see you. You can get this paper. The picture of the girl, this is rice paper. And there are actually two women on one sheet of paper. The paper is A4 size. That's this size. She was on one half. I had another woman on the other half. I've already used her. But you can get this on my website, thecomfynestwithgrace.com. You can buy the rice papers there. Yes, I do, Wendy. She's asking, do you glue pages together before you create on them? I do. Where's my book here? I even tear some pages out to make more room. But yes, this, when you look at any one of my pages, do you see how thick that is? That is several Reader's Digest pages glued together so that I have some thickness and it can take the moisture that I'm going to put on it. All right, let's do this. Let's get our decoupage. I'm going to use this decoupage varnish and glue. Again, you can get it when you buy the rice papers on my website, thecomfynestwithgrace.com. You can also get the decoupage glue. I sell it in a large bottle and a small bottle. When I first got this from Decoupage Queen, when I first became a retailer and I got this glue, I hadn't been using this, so I thought, before I really commit to this, I'm going to just try it out. I bought the small bottles and had them in the shop. I really do like it. So the next bottle that I open for myself will be a big bottle. It will be, because I use enough of it. I decoupage enough, and I'm using the rice paper all the time. So to glue it down and to varnish it on your page, since I use so much of it, I'll just go ahead and get the big bottle. So you can see me. I did the top of her. Wait a minute. Remember, I wanted to put that teal behind here somehow. Let's grab a chunk of this. I just think it'd be fun and funky to have just a little chunk of this behind her face. And I think I'll go with a chunk of pink. You guys, I mean, just bear with me. This is just an idea I had. And this is the fun of art journaling and creating, is you get to decide what your project looks like. I'm going to peel this back to the top of her head, like right up at her forehead. And I want to stick this underneath here. My idea should be like a little harlequin on her face, which I think could be very interesting. So thankfully, the rice paper you can reposition quite a few times. Yeah, this is what I want to do. You can reposition it a few times even after it's wet, you know, because it's thicker than napkins. I have a Napkin Lovers Club. We work with both decoupage papers and napkins. I'm just going to move this over slightly so it's a little bit more on her face. I've never done this before. See what I did? Just a tiny little piece of harlequin. I think it would be interesting to have that. It will show right through the paper. Very, very... It's very faint because it's behind the paper, and that's what I was thinking, is it would be faint and it would be interesting. I'm also going to use the harlequin on other parts of this cover, so it's going to really match. I'll show you here. Hang tight, folks. I didn't put it on her neck purposefully. I just don't know. I just thought it would be kind of cool to just have it on underneath her face. And it's very, very slight. Rice paper is very pulpy. I don't know if you can see this, but it has little bits of pulp in it, and it's not like napkins. You know, if I did this to a napkin, it would tear right in half. Rice paper is much thicker, so it actually is easier to decoupage with. You have a little more forgiveness to pull things back up after you've glued it and put it back down. But do you see on her face now? I love that, you guys. I love it. I think it reminds me of Phantom of the Opera. What do you think of that? Honestly, what do you think of that? I am not offended if you say, hey, it's not for me, but you do you, girl. I always think that you should express yourself however you want to, using your supplies the way you want to, and that's the whole point of being creative, is to just, it's art. It's creative. It's not meant to be perfection. It's not meant to always be real life. It's meant to just be whatever makes your heart happy. I think it's cool. I love it. We're going to use that Harlequin paper. Maybe I'll use it on the binding because I've got to cover the back now. And I was thinking I could put some of this with either, this is called Vintage Lace. It's another rice paper. And this weekend, or before the weekend, it was like on Friday it was, I went live for an hour and a half with my subscribers on my page. They get exclusive content from me. We were live for an hour and a half, and I was using the jelly plate, and I created lots and lots of decorative paper for my projects. And I have this one, and it has a bit of green in it. It has some pink. It has some shimmer. I added some shimmer paint to it. I thought that might be really pretty here too. So I don't know. Let's get some of this down. I think I'm going to peek this out on the corners, or we could cover, we could do, I don't have a lot of it left. I'm trying to use up my scraps, number one, and I want it to look really cohesive. I'm going to cover parts of the binding with it. Can you see through the binding? It says Danielle Steele and then the name of the book, which is Heartbeat. The rice paper could be a really good way to cover that up. So let's smush some of this on here. It doesn't have to be perfection. It just needs to be on there. I think I like things that are visually interesting, that make you think like, oh, like we didn't cover it with one big strip. We covered it with itty bitty bits, and but it matches what's going on over here and what's going on over here. Do you see what I'm saying? So I've got a little bit of pink and purple. This one's more gray and blue, but interesting, right? We're gonna stick it, I'm pushing that brush right into this crease here of the book cover, because the book cover is hard cardboard, right? I've got a little bit that came over to the front here, and I actually don't think I want that there. See that? So I'm gonna just pull it up and pull off now that it's wet. It's so easy to work with, you guys. You could totally do this. I have been really enjoying putting on the bindings of my books. I like to make them decorative, and I have been enjoying putting fabrics like lace, or beside lace, chiffon. I like putting just fabric ribbons, or scraps of fabric. Yeah, the beautiful jelly paper, Maureen. You were there on Friday when we were creating this. This is one, I just think the colors really match the cover, and I thought maybe I could work that in here somehow. I'm so happy with all our papers that we made. I think I'm going to do a live and just show it to everybody. I will so do that. I love Harlequin, Georgie says. Georgie, I have a lot of Harlequin rice papers in my shop at thecomfynestwithgrace.com now. So I would say wait until the end of the day to shop, though. I will do an announcement on the page. I've got the glue. I've got all of the rice papers that I have in stock in the shop now. I added about 6 or 7 pages this morning. I have got to get the foils in the shop so that you guys can buy them. I just got them this weekend in the mail from Decoupage Queen, and I want to get them in the shop for you guys. So just hang tight. Don't do your shopping until... see this straight edge? Not liking that. I never like the straight edge. It's just, I don't know why. I'm not usually a fan of the straight edge. So I'm going to tear this. So you can tear it without wetting it. You can wet it and tear it, or you can just tear it without wetting it. I'm going to tear that, and I'm going to add, I think, some of this paper here, and then either the lace or my other paper around it. Actually, maybe what I should do, I can cut this into 2 pieces. Maybe what I should do is put the other paper down first so the Harlequin is more prominent. So I have to decide, do I want a chunk of this? You guys help me decide. Lace? Should I do the lace or sparkle paper? Lace or sparkle paper? You love the lace, Marsha? Good morning, Marsha Gerber. Hello, subscriber. I love the jelly papers too, Debbie. They turned out so pretty. I mean, you never know what you're going to get with that jelly print. That's what's so fun. Brenda says use the sparkle. Good morning, Brenda. I don't know if I said hello to you yet. Good morning. Oh, Mary says she likes this. It evokes a bit of mystery to her face. I think so too. I really like it a lot. Thanks for saying so, Mary. That's a good way to think of it. Let's see. What is everybody saying? Sparkle paper, sparkle paper. Good morning, Judy from Texas. There is no theme this week. It's a general crafting week. So you're going to see a really big variety of things. Not that you usually, I mean, there is a huge variety because there's so many different creatives in that group. Good morning, Mary from Ocean Breeze and me. All right, everybody's saying sparkle. Use some sparkle paper. I like that it has a little bit of gray, a little bit of pink, a little bit of green. I like torn edges, so I'm going to tear. At it. And the nice thing about the way I do things, ladies and gentlemen, is that I hope it shows you that you should have no pressure. Like, things don't have to be measured out. They don't have to be perfect. They can be completely free and just have some fun with your stuff and play. So if I put this down first and put this over it, do you see I will get like a mixture of the two, which I think could be cool, right? I think I'm going to tear this in half diagonally so that I can put it more on the edges like this. Let's get rid of this point. It's kind of, I feel like it's holding me back. I feel like it's holding me back, the little points. We're going to make it more the shape of the book so that I'm going to be filling in this back book page with creative papers. And it's not the end. Like, we can always add other things, but you see what I'm going to do here? All right, let's start by getting down the sparkle paper. This is paper that I made the other day with subscribers. So anybody who subscribes to my page, not every business page has this, but I offer the subscription service. So it's $1.99 a month to subscribe to my page. Facebook defaults a business, suggests that a business charge $4.99 a month. I decided to go with $1.99 a month. $1.99 a month, that means you're supporting the page. You're giving me, and I think I actually, instead of stars, consider becoming a subscriber, because with the subscriber option, you will get exclusive content from me. You get some exclusive challenges. I'm dreaming up a challenge right now. We did one a couple of months ago for subscribers only. And what I do is I give them a creative challenge. I give them a month to do it and to share their photos of their challenge. And then their name is entered to win a prize, some creative supplies from me. So with the subscriber option, and everybody, you see the little green, the teal little badge next to Holly. Holly Spear, she said, slowly building my stash. Her comment, hello, Holly, and thank you for subscribing. Her comment, her name has a little badge next to it, and that means that she subscribes to the page. She's paying $1.99 a month through Facebook. You sign up right through Facebook on my page, and you get exclusive content, exclusive discounts, exclusive time with me, a lot of behind the scenes. I do a lot of behind the scenes with the subscribers, lives that only they can see. So consider joining us. You can cancel anytime. It's only $1.99 a month, which is like what it costs for a cup of coffee, right? So I did that purposefully so that it would be available to everybody. You guys, I don't know, I kind of like it this way. I may want just a little more Harlequin down in this corner, and this is shaped like a corner. So I don't like these straight edges. So again, I'm going to tear off, I should get that out of my mouth. I'm going to tear off the edges. And then this is shaped like a corner. So I'm just going to put it over here to add a little more Harlequin. And I'm out. I mean, I don't think I have another bit. Oh, I do. I have two little bits here of Harlequin. But then I'm out of this page. I mean, I think this one is actually sold out on my site too. So I would have to grab a different design if I wanted to put something else down. I'm going to put this right in this corner because I think that's kind of cool. Do you see the combination of the two? And then I have two little bitty scraps left, but they're teeny tiny. They're not very big. I mean, like, I suppose we could use them up. I suppose we could just get them on here somewhere. Why let anything go to waste? This one does have a straight edge, so I am gonna, it is the torn part of the edge of this. So I'm just gonna stick that way down on the edge here and wrap that around there. All right, I think this is kind of working out to be pretty cool. It's not all said and done, you know, I keep working at it. I just keep adding a bit of glue and then sticking a little paper in. And I think I almost put this in my coffee, you guys. I almost put my brush right in my coffee. That would have been awful. That would have been an awful taste. Okay, we're just gonna keep hodgepodging this together. Denise says, I love learning from you. Hey, Denise, right under your name, it says you are a 2-month subscriber. It's your anniversary. Happy anniversary. Thanks for subscribing and supporting the Comfy Nest. Let's go to my sparkle paper and grab a strip that's kind of that shape and see about adding that right there. It's a little bit gray and pink and green, so it has all 3 colors on it, and I like it. So let's add this here. I only have this one little bit here that's uncovered. And then we can go to foils. Then we can play with some foils. I think what I want to do is, you know, it could be interesting. I'm now talking to myself. I'm going to put this brush away because I missed this spot right here with glue. You got to make sure everything is glued down. This is both a glue and a varnish. So once I've got it glued down, we can come over the whole thing with some varnish and just make sure that everything on the top is going to stay down. Just in case you, like, you know me, guys, I miss my corners a lot. So we can do that. This is one big piece, and I already put some on the top, so we're going to leave that as is. And now let's think about foils. How much time do we have here? It's 8:42, so I've got about 20 minutes left, which is perfect for doing some foils. So let's dry this up while we chit-chat. Hip, hip, hooray, 2-month subscriber. I love it, Denise. I love it. Denise, I don't remember. Were you with me Friday when we did the jelly plate printing? Were you with me live, or have you had a chance to watch the replay? I was not intending, but I ended up being online with you guys for an hour and a half, and we were just playing with that jelly plate. I had 2 jelly plates, actually, and I made a ton of paper, decorative paper. So I love playing with it. I love having more options for decorative paper in my stash because, of course, I have scrap paper. I have lots of, I'm just looking at this and thinking, should I cover that up too? I have lots of scrap paper, obviously, like regular scrap paper that you get at the store. I have lots of rice paper and decoupage paper. I have thousands of napkins, probably. I'm not kidding you when I say I have thousands of napkins. I'm going to patch this up right there. A little scratch, so I'm just patching up with a piece of paper while the glue is still wet. But even with all of that, I just love the way jelly prints come out off of your, I love the surprise of it. I love not knowing what you're going to get exactly. And I use them a lot in my junk journals, those papers. They're really fun to use in junk journals. Okay, so now comes the idea of using some foils. And I grabbed 2 different purples. Actually, I think that's a pink. Let's see, what does it say? Light purple and pink. This is considered pink. Doesn't look pink to me. It looks like purple, but light purple and pink. These are the 2 colors that I grabbed. These are foil sheets. The other day I showed you foil flakes, and we did those on a project. Today I thought it would be fun to play with the sheets. You love the back of the book? Isn't it cool? It's not quite dry, guys. Give it another second here with the dryer. This spot right in here, actually I should open it up. This spot right in here where that crevice is where it's still wet. So let's dry this up a little bit more. See, this could just be so pretty sitting. Rita, I agree, it's so pretty. We could just use this sitting on a countertop, or, you know, if you have decorative things in your bedroom, this would be cute sitting on your nightstand. in your bedroom. You can use it to sketch, to journal in, to do whatever you want with, really. To napkin journal. This last page that I showed you here, this is both napkin, that's a napkin that I sell on my site. I use some stenciling. I put blue color on the background before I stenciled just to match my little blue bird here. And then I chalked with Chalk Couture Good Morning Sunshine because it just seemed to go. So napkins are a fantastic thing to put over book cover pages. I love having the book cover page behind it peeking out. I just think that's really cool because it lets the book be what it originally was, a novel or a book that you read for fun. And then you can turn the book into an art journal and make it something that you can continue to enjoy. Hey, Lori, how are you? Hey, Rita, good morning. Yes, Brenda, all you want to do to get to Decoupage Queen, I sell the papers on my site, thecomfynestwithgrace.com. So just go to my website, thecomfynestwithgrace.com, and then go to my shop tab, and then you'll find the decoupage papers and supplies there. Like I said, today I'll be adding the foils to the shop. So if you're interested in ordering the foils and the flake foils, just hang tight and wait for my announcement here on the page because I need a little time to get the foils up on the page. I'm going to start on the back because this glue is still a little bit wet. So this is completely dry, but this is still a little bit wet. So I'm going to start on the back with my foil glue. Metal leaf glue. This stuff is fantastic. I have a few different metal leaf glues, and this one works really well. Aleene's works really well too, but I carry this one on my site. So if you're interested in ordering it, when you order the papers, you can get the decoupage papers, you can get the foils, you can get the glues, you can get the decoupage this glue for putting down your papers. You can get it all in the same place if you shop my site, thecomfynestwithgrace.com. Yes, Lori, the papers are so pretty. Get yourself a jelly plate. They're really, really fun to play with. I'm going to take the glue. Anywhere where I put the glue is where the foil is going to end up. I'm going to pounce it in no real particular shape. In fact, I went right over that Harlequin. It's okay, right? It's okay. I'm going to pounce it over the edges here. You see what I'm doing? I'm just taking a small paintbrush, and this is actually a glue brush from Mod Podge that I got at like Hobby Lobby or something. You could use a sponge for this. You could use your finger for this. You could use whatever you want. I'm just going to get a bit of glue, and I'll show you this here in the camera real close in a minute. You can really see it here because I laid it on pretty thick. See right there, that wetness, that glue? I'm just pouncing it on because I want the foil to be around the edges in just a really random way. I don't want it to look planned out or anything. I'm just gonna dab. As you can see, we're just dabbing. Anybody can do this. A sponge would work really well, like a little sponge, like a little dauber or something would work really well for this too. So what you do with the foils is you take your glue and you get it on there. The thicker the glue, the better the foil adhesion will be. I haven't decided what to do. Let's just do it. Let's make a decision. I was thinking, I haven't decided whether to do any of my binding or not. The binding of the book, the spine of the book, as I should say. Well, let's just do it. Okay, you put your glue down. The glue needs to semi-dry. It needs to dry before you can use your foils. I'm going to move these out of the way. We're just going to dry the glue. It's just pounced all over the edges. For now, we're going to foil the edges of this book. Good morning, Adrian. Hello, Christine, sneaking in from work. Oh, nobody will tell. Hush, hush. Nobody will say a word. We're just going to dry that glue a little bit. You want to dry it. What will happen is you can see that it's a little bit white on the book cover when it's wet, a lot like other glues, like Mod Podge and other glues. They go on white or colored. Some of them, like, you know, some glue sticks go on purple, but then when they dry, they're clear. It's the same thing with this. It's going to go on white, and then, like Elmer, it looks like Elmer's glue, and then when it's dry, it will be clear. You want it to dry and completely before you put the foils on. And honestly, I always recommend to you guys, if you can, let it do its own thing, let it dry in its own time. Same thing with texture pastes and crackle pastes, and you will always have better luck with your products if you follow the instructions on the back, and most of them will tell you, give it 20 minutes to dry. Give it 30, go walk away, make yourself a cup of coffee, let the dog out, check your email, throw a little laundry, and then come back and let it get tacky on its own. When you see us using our dryers, it's because we have 45 minutes. We have limited time to showcase this. We have limited time to demonstrate it to you. So we have to push the envelope. We have to make it go a little faster than you probably would at home. But if you have the option to let it do its own thing, let it dry on its own. See, I still have some wet glue there. Let it dry on its own. Somebody asked, what glue are you using? I'm using metal leaf glue from Pentart, and I sell it in my store, thecomfinesswithgrace.com. So you're going to put it on the edges. You're going to let it dry on its own, and it will dry clear, but it will remain tacky. It's going to be, even though it's dry, it should not come off on your finger if it's completely dry. You see, I'm still getting some on my finger. Don't do that. When you're at home alone, and you're working, you're going to pick up the metal leaf glue from my site. You can grab either the foils, or the other day I used the flakes. Where are my flakes? I don't even know if they're close by. The other day I used my jars of flakes. You can use either one of them. You can look on my site for my Facebook page here for demonstrations of that. I think I'm going to go with, let's start with the lighter color this time. Well, I may do a combination of both, but let's start with the lighter color. You want to have something to burnish, meaning like a little clean sponge, or you could even use a piece of wax paper. You just need something that you're going to rub this on with. This comes in sheets. This here is sheets, and each sheet is individually wrapped inside a piece of, it looks like parchment paper. It's incredibly delicate. Can you see this little piece came off? There, it's incredible. That's because it was all of the sheets were taped down in the box with this little piece of tape. So that little corner came off. I can still use it, It's going to stick to almost anything that it touches though. But I can still put it on my foil glue, and it will stick there. But with the sheets, what you want to do is try not to touch it because it will stick to your fingers. It's that sensitive. You're going to place it down on the glue and use something to push it down into the glue. Okay? You're going to use something. It can be a sponge. It can just be the paper. You want to push it down in to the glue and rub and then pull up. Okay, so keep doing that. It's going to look messy all the way around. This is not done. That's just some of the paper on or some of the foil on the glue. I want to spread it out though, so I'm trying to just use a little bit at a time. You see? Because this, I want to get that on here somewhere. I don't want to waste that. Let's get it on there. So I'm going to pull this off, stick it on the glue. I have the glue all the way around the edges of this project. So whether the sheets are cleaner to work with, to be honest with you. The flakes, if you watch my video from the other day, there's another little piece. Let's get it on there. I don't like to waste anything. If you work with the flakes, they're messier. I think they're really fun to work with, but they fly all over the place. They're like light as anything. So you see what I'm doing? I'm just sticking it onto, peeling it back and sticking it onto the edges. And wherever you have glue is where it's going to stick. And you want your glue completely dry. Mine, to be truthful with you, is not completely dry, and that is not ideal. You want it dry because it'll stick better. It will not chance coming up. It'll be easier to work with. I did put some in here, so let's grab this and put these little flakes in here. So in all of these excess pieces, you can pull them up and put them in. You can just use your fingers. We don't have to be all fancy-pantsy about this. All the excess we can use on the other parts of it. Now what you do, I'm going to use my finger, but you can use a sponge. Oh, actually, I have a pounce brush that I use, or one of these chip brushes that I use, and you want to push the foils, let me close my glue because I don't want any foil getting into my glue. It's going to fly around a little bit. You're going to push this in and brush it off. You're pushing it in and you're brushing it off. Push it into the glue and brush it off the book. All of the places where there's no glue, the foil will come off when you brush it. All the places where there is glue, the foil will stay. I didn't want straight edges, so you saw me pouncing the glue in very randomly. I have lots of excess right here, and I can tell I have some sticky glue here. It's sticking to my pounce brush. I think I like working with the flakes better. That's just my personal preference, but I'm going to have both in the store. But you see what you do? You're just brushing off the excess. It's messy. It's going to get all over you, but it's incredibly fun to work with. Okay. You just keep brushing until you get the excess off. Where there's no glue, it will come off. It'll brush right off. Where the glue is, it's going to stay. Move my coffee away so I don't get any. And now, isn't that cool? Oh, you guys, I love it. In fact, I love it so much. Oh my gosh, look at how pretty that is. And I have different colors, so you can use different colors that you have on hand. Look at, it's so pretty. I think I'm going to come in around the paper edges and just kind of naturally play with the paper edges. I have 4 minutes left, so I'll just show you basically what I'm going to do when I say paper edges. I'm going to take a little paintbrush with the glue on it, and I'm going to see the edge between the transition between the Harlequin and my own paper that I made. I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to put a little bit of the glue around those edges to just kind of play them up and get some of this foil inside the design of the book page. And then I'll dry that and put a little bit of, I didn't use a lot, so maybe I can just come right in. Yes, I can. It's still very sticky. So I'm going to take these little flakes that are left over on my table, and there are lots of them, and I'm going to push them into that glue and show you, like, literally wherever you put the glue is where the foil is going to stick. So I'm going to do that throughout this book cover. I'm going to come in and I'm just going to randomly put these veins of foil through very, very softly around the paper edges to kind of play up the collage of papers in my book cover. I'm also going to cover all the way around her with the same foil so that the front and the back match. I probably will cover up this too, but I'm out of time in terms of craft round the clock. So I'm going to keep working on this on my own, and I will post a picture to show you. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty, you guys. Do you love that or what? See, foils can be used anywhere to really like jazz up your projects and make them that much more special. And they come in a huge variety of colors. I will have them up in the store this afternoon, so watch for a post on the page. I'll probably I'll text subscribers too, telling you that they're available and ready. So give me some time. Don't shop the site yet, thecomfynestwithgrace.com. Wait until I'm done getting all of these up on the page. I would love to know in the comments if you've used foils before, or if now that you've seen how easy they are to work with, if you're interested in trying it, let me know. It just adds such beauty. 1 minute left. You guys, the next thing you'd want to do, be sure to follow my page. If you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. It's just $1.99 a month, and you'll get exclusive content and offers. You can absolutely seal them. Yes, Jackie, you can seal them with any top coat that you want to use. I also sell varnish in my store. I don't have it here right with me, but it's called Varnish, and it's from Pentart. And any varnish, this is the varnish and glue. You can use it for both the glue and the varnish. You're going to top coat it with that. Carmen says, I've never tried the foils, but now I will. And Tammy too, I've never used them, but I will order them. They're so fun to use, you guys. They're so fun, and they really add just something super special to any project. They're really fun to put on, like florals and butterfly wings, just to add a little something special. And you don't have to use a lot of it. You really don't. Thank you, Joy. She says, gorgeous. Thank you for that. All right, you guys, head on over to, after you've hit the follow button, and I invite you to subscribe for $1.99 a month for exclusive content, offers, and challenges. Once you've done that, head on over to Craft Around the Clock to catch the next creator, and there'll be creators going every 45 minutes live all day long, every day, Monday through Friday. You guys have a beautiful, blessed day. Go make something pretty that brings your heart joy. Oh, and I'll catch you next time here on the Comfy Dust.